streaming. All right.
Ready.
All right, here we go.
Broadcasting live from upstate New York, a technology talk show that puts you and your questions first. It's Tech Talk Live.
Yeah, baby, it's Tech Talk Live. Coming to you live from the basement studios of Pinehurst Drive. I'm Flipper, and that's Peter. I got nobody with me except for, Snide's gone, JJ's gone. Oh geez, I forgot to switch the cam. Look at that. I got so much I got to do. This is so weird. So yeah, it's Tech Talk Live. We're a computer technology talk show that talks about your problems, your issues, your news, your whatever. If you want to give us a call, you can give us a call at 315-220-0692 and get live on the air. Or give us an email, and we'll try to get those on the air as well. They come up immediately as soon as you hit send to us. So it's techtalkliveny@gmail.com. And this week we have something very special in the terms of Mr. Peter coming in and sitting in with us. And I thought we'd introduce him properly as
Darth Vader. Nice.
Yes. Well, I think it was David that told me that I should say that. Well, you got the perfect chrome dome for it.
Oh, good.
You'd fit right in the helmet. You know? So anyway, there's a point to that theme song, though, and I'll tell you what that point is, and then maybe we can start talking about it. Is yesterday was Star Wars Day.
Yes.
Okay.
International Star Wars Day.
I can't believe it's actually called International Star Wars Day. It's so weird to think about that. Just a whole day just made up to.
May the 4th be with you.
Yes, I'm looking forward to Princess Leia all over again. Those buns, man. They were hot.
Yes, they were.
Boy, that sounds so. We could have way too much fun with that topic. So, speaking about Star Wars Day and, all that wonderful stuff there, one of the things that I happened to see yesterday morning on, I think it was ZDNet or PC World, one of the two, is an actual real-world lightsaber. Okay?
A real working lightsaber.
It's called a laser saber from Wicked Lasers. Okay. You buy the actual laser. Now, you have to actually buy the actual $300 red, green, blue, or whatever laser module. And then you buy the lightsaber hilt, and it fits in it. Okay. And there's a magnetron in the hilt that makes the laser only so long, and it forms like that glowy kind of lightsaber thing.
So how do they make it visible?
It's all there. I don't know. I was watching the video. It was freaking cool.
Wow. Are they vaporizing some liquid, you think? Or?
I don't think so. I don't.
Wow. That's awesome.
I know. I was like, oh my God, $400, man. I'd be all over that in a heartbeat.
That's cool. That is really cool.
Buy one today. Hey, Wicked Laser, we need a sponsor. Call us.
Exactly. Yes.
So yes, I just couldn't get over it when I saw that yesterday morning. It was just I totally got blown away just by going, wow, that is so cool. And then I go, oh crap, Peter's gonna want one, David's gonna want one.
David's gonna want 3 of them.
Right. Well, they
one for each color.
Now you got to remember,
he's gonna have the double sword.
I don't think they got the double one yet. I mean, I suppose you could jury rig it up.
You have 2 of them.
Yeah, and then
now I'm assuming you have to be hooked up to a power source somehow. No,
it actually runs right off of AA batteries.
Wow.
Yeah. The only problem is actual laser, so they recommend that you wear laser shades.
Well, yeah.
And do not duel with these, because you could hurt yourself.
What's the point then?
I know. Well, they're working on it. They're working on it so that you can vaporize each other, cut your arms off.
Well, yeah, that's important.
Yeah. Well, we got to reenact the whole, Luke and Darth Vader's, Luke, I'm your father, and then all of a sudden,
man.
You're right. Oh my God, the modern version. Holy cow, that's great.
No, for reals.
So, what was your favorite? What was your favorite Star Wars moment?
Actually, so I really like Empire Strikes Back. I think that's the best of all of the films, because it's the first time you get to actually see the Empire, doing what they are supposed to be doing, is beating people up and being oppressive, and the whole thing. It's hard to be evil if nobody can respect you because your Death Star is blown up. But one of my favorite parts in that is the scene in the asteroid field when the Millennium Falcon is diving into the asteroid field and the Imperials are chasing them, and you see all the admirals standing in holograms around Vader, who doesn't want excuses, he wants results, and you see the one admiral on the side cringing back as his ship is being hit by the asteroid. It's just a really brief second. But I thought one of the funnier things that they put in the film, that you don't catch the first time, you catch the second or the third or fourth time in the film. But yeah, I just like that film more than any of the others. I think it's a better written, and it's not what you expect. You don't expect the Empire to win in the end, sort of,
right?
And
well,
really
they kind of do,
and they should, because of the Empire,
right?
If they can't win, then
you shouldn't be the Empire.
You shouldn't be the Empire, exactly.
I don't know. I think one of my favorite spots in the movie has got to be the Jabba the Hutt scene where they're out on the floating barge getting ready to throw Luke and everybody and Han Solo into the I can't remember.
Sarlacc.
Yes.
Sarlacc or Sarnak?
Sarnak. Maybe that's
Sarnak
what it was.
Pit, yeah.
Yes, and Princess Leia, of course, looking hot as hell.
In the titanium bra?
Yeah, pretty much. That'd be scary. Kind of watch her dance, all of a sudden, chink, chink. It's like, oh, I heard something. It was kind of nice to get her out of the moo-moo for a change. But that had been one of my favorite ones, just because just the whole action and scene transitions were done so well that Luke would jump from one ship to the other, and Han was blind as could be and still ended up helping out. And,
right.
It was just really good the way that whole thing just kind of panned out for the whole scene.
What I liked about that whole Jabba thing too was the door warden droid, when 3PO and R2 come up to the door and ask to get in to see Jabba the Hutt.
Yes.
And the ball comes out of the door and talks to them, and you realize that the door itself is a droid. It's not. There's not another. I just thought that was funny. I just thought that was great. The idea of droids are being. You think of droids moving around, but not all of them do. Some of them are
stationary.
And they have and yet, why would you want an intelligent door? Which is an even funnier concept. Obviously to determine who can come in and who can go out. But it seems like that poor door is sitting there for all day long, wondering what the heck to do. Right. Waiting.
All right, if anybody wants to get in on this conversation, give us a call, 315-220-0692. I don't have a Darth Vader thumb drive to give away, but I do have an 8-gigabyte little small guy that we can give away if you call in with your questions, or if you want to talk about Star Wars Day or Cinco de Mayo or anything else. So call now. So let's see if somebody calls. Probably not, but I'm wondering if I'm having a problem with the call now. Let me check this for a second. They keep changing everything. Like Google Voice just changed. There was face-to-face chat. I don't want that. Holy cow. Dead air. I know. There it is. Okay. I just guess I just had to respond yes to that. Yeah, I don't know. When they went back and redid some of the other films, I mean, just because the technology wasn't there to really produce it, I think it really did a disservice to the original films, because it made you look at the original films and go, well, geez, that kind of sucked. I mean, the film quality was this, and now all of a sudden we got computer-generated lightsabers and this, that, and the other instead of the old-style green screen, sticks are hitting each other, and we had to hand draw it on the frames,
Right.
I don't know. It's neat, but it's not neat. I think if they would have done the whole series, or started with number 1 and built up to the Empire Strikes Back or the whatever the final one, the Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi, yep.
And would have technologically increased as they went through that. I think it would have been a better series.
Yeah.
But I mean, how can you go wrong? I mean, Star Wars.
Sure, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And then when they got to this technology, if they really wanted to redo something, they could have easily went back to the Imperial Wars or the Clone Wars or any other time period. I mean, I've been reading so many different books out there. The really scary thing says like, wow, I can't believe that they got this much out in somebody's brain. I've got a whole universe built right now, and I can build it 5 seconds flat. So, but yeah, I mean, so what's the one thing in what's the one thing in Star Trek that you would love to see in real life?
Star Trek
or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
You know what? I'm tired. I went to see.
There is a difference, Phil, between Star Wars and Star Trek.
No, there isn't. Not the way you guys play your games. I've heard about the Klingons versus the Borg.
Well, yeah. All right. Yeah, I can't really say anything more about that. No, I don't know. I think, certainly the ships. We'd love to be able to get in a ship and go somewhere. Of course, you'd really hope there is something out there to go to.
Right.
That would be kind of cool. I don't know. Floating cities. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Robots.
Yeah, the actual droid.
The actual droids, yeah.
Intelligent droids, not this. Hey, I can move a hand or I can move a whatever.
Right, exactly. I can sort of mow your lawn if you give me a week.
Right,
and program in my my boundaries, and I'll try not to hit the neighbor's rhododendrons.
Oh, there goes those plants. So.
Yeah, because I was
www.lowe's.com. Okay.
I was looking at that. Actually, they have those now. The remote. They're automated lawnmowers.
Yep.
They're electric, and I don't know if they're solar powered or they just go back to a base station and charge. But for my in-laws' property at the lake, they have about an acre and a half. It's a real pain to mow because it's always trying to find time and all that crap. It'd be nice to have something like that sitting out there. And apparently they're not that expensive, only a few $100s for it.
Automated lawn mowing.
Well, it's the same thing as a Roomba, right? It's the same thing as a Roomba, except that it's a lawnmower, and you have to go in with it and locate teach it exactly where the boundaries are, and then in theory you just turn it on and leave it to go. And it will just continue to mow that lawn.
Continually.
Well, it mows for like an hour or so, and then it returns to its base station and recharges, and then goes back out and mows some more, and then recharges, and and I don't know how it's how it determines its course, if it's just random. So I don't know what it looks like.
Maybe we'll have to have you buy one, or maybe we can get one and
then we'll have to see.
Yeah, try it, and then you'll have to review it. And
all right. I'll see what I can do.
Oh my God, I can hear all the lawn care people now screaming out
I'm really concerned about the whole idea of it, losing its boundaries and going off somewhere. I'm also concerned about, someone coming up and saying, "That's a cool looking lawnmower," and walking off with it.
Yeah, I wonder how that would work. I mean, if it doesn't have its original base station, I wonder if it just shuts down and makes it useless.
Although it would be kind of cool to put like a wireless webcam on it.
Oh,
so that you could watch it. You could watch it at work, watching it moving up and down the yard.
That would be neat. $300 for that too. So, little Wi-Fi cam, battery operated, or attach it to the solar cell. That would be neat. I'm with you on that. That'd be cool. That's
I'll have to look into this. Look into this more and see if I can't pick up one.
That would be fun. I would love to do a review on that. That would be great.
Because we're looking at buying a new lawnmower down there anyway, and so we're going to be spending a bunch of money. I'll see if I can convince my father-in-law to to go in on it
and just see if it works. Yeah. I think I would be worried. Well, with your situation down at the lake, I mean, oh my God, that's got to be a weird. Because I mean, if it does lose its boundaries, it's going for a swim.
It's going for a swim. Yeah, so it's going into a ravine. It's crossing several large fields that equally there's no one down there to watch it. So I mean, it could wander pretty far. I don't know. We'll have to look into it. Maybe we'll do it at home first and see.
All of a sudden, you're downtown at the deli. You're eating lunch. All of a sudden, you see your Roomba with the webcam driving by.
All the more reason to have the webcam and the GPS monitor on it.
Right, just to see. Oh my God, it's going after that little kid! Run! It's
a big address label. If found, please return me to.
Oh, I can just see it now. You put it out on the milk cartons. Lost Roomba or more or whatever it is. Oh, that'd be great. I think that'd be funny. Hold on, we could spoof that up good. That would be fun. That's great. So anyway, you're listening to Tech Talk Live, broadcast live up here in the heart of the Finger Lakes, Seneca Falls, New York. Holy cow, I lost my train of thought there for a second. We're a technology talk show. We talk about just about anything. If you want to give us a call and get in on the conversation, give us a call, 315-220-0692. Or if you want to give us an email, we'll read your emails live on the air and try to answer your questions the best that we can. techtalkliveny@gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook. Like us on Facebook. Just go to Facebook and type in Tech Talk Live, all one word. You want to check us out on Twitter? We're also on Twitter, Tech Talk Live NY. And then, of course, our home base, fingerlakes1.com. Go check us out on fingerlakes1.com. You can also download previous recorded shows, or if you're listening live between 11 and 12, you can watch us. And I have my good friend Peter here. And he's on the Snide cam over there, since Snide's not here. And then right here we got JJ. I don't know, right there? There's JJ. So he's filling in. He's with us in spirit and heart, but he's looking a little pale today. So anyway, Star Wars. I still can't get over that there's a whole day, May the 4th be with you. And then, of course, today's Cinco de Mayo. Let's all get drunk and trashed and have a great day.
That's right. Celebrate mayonnaise.
Right. Last time I did that, never mind. We can't get into that kind of story on here, I suppose. Okay, maybe we can. Slip and slide made out of mayonnaise. We took the blow up slip and slide, not just the rollout ones. I mean the blow up ones. Yeah, you blow it up and then you put it down a stairwell on a board or something.
Okay, and
then you layer it with tons and tons of mayonnaise, and then you just get in your bathing suit and slide down. Okay, I broke my nose one time while I'm doing that, so my college year, Cinco de Mayo, man. I'm telling you what you want.
All right, wow. That's crazy.
It is crazy. It's messy.
And a great waste of perfectly good mayonnaise.
Well, we slapped it up and put it on sandwiches. It was all good. We made the biggest superhero sandwich ever. So, if you were a superhero, not a superhero, if you were a Star Wars character, what Star Wars character would you be?
What would I want to be, or what would I probably be?
Either one.
I'd probably be a stormtrooper standing around doing nothing. Or possibly one of those Imperial orderlies that wander back and forth.
The ones with the baseball caps.
Yeah. You don't know what they're doing, but they're probably just delivering papers or tablets or something. Looking important, imperious.
Here, Mr. Vader. Here's your coffee, sir.
Although I do like the guys with the giant tentacles coming off their heads, because first of all they have good cool names. So the main one you see is Jabba's assistant,
yep.
Bib Fortuna.
Bib
Fortuna. What an awesome name that is. So I always like that look for whatever bizarre reason. Maybe it's the red eyes. I don't know.
Could be.
But
I've always enjoyed. If I thought I was going to be anything, I'd probably end up being either a fat Wookiee or a really big, overgrown Ewok.
What about the blue guy who plays the keyboards in the Cantina band?
Oh, I could be him too. That could be fun.
I can't remember what his name is.
Oh, yeah. Good luck on that. I can't even think about it. It's so funny doing this show at even though it's at 11 o'clock. last night I got called back to work.
Sure.
So I ended up being there until like 1 o'clock in the morning. So it was like, okay, well, then I come home, try to get some sleep, and I'm like, I'm not tired. I don't want to sleep, Then right about 2 o'clock, I'm finally falling asleep. And then, of course, I'm up at 8, so I got like a total of 6 hours sleep, which probably ain't bad. So I'm not doing.
What I usually get.
I'm not doing too bad, I suppose, but it was broken up. I get up like halfway through or whatever, and I'm just still feeling kind of fuzzy headed from yesterday. It's like wow, the 4th is not with me.
Yes, get used to it. This is what happens as you get older.
Is that what happens?
Yes. Well, I can remember back in my when I was in my late 20s and working at the trucking company, pulling a 16-hour shift and going home, sleeping 4 hours and doing another one, day after day, 5 days a week. And then on the weekends, I, of course, crash the entire time pretty much and then back to do the same thing. Yeah, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Now if I have to do a long day for, when deadlines come, I am done for like 2 or 3 or 4 days after that. I just can't do it anymore.
I hear you. I'm right along with you lately. I don't know what's what actually the whole dealio is, if it's just the aging of the body or what. I mean, sometimes I get really clear-headed. I mean, like last week we did a show on science and technology and how it relates, and we were having a blast. I did so much research, and I mean, I could relate almost any topic to technology.
Sure.
And then, I went back and listened to some of the previous shows, and I'm just like looking at how I'll get going on a topic, and if I got it all right here in the front of the head, man, I'm pulling it off, and I sound good, I look good, I feel good. I'm like, hey, baby, and I'm like, yeah, that's what we're talking about, and just could not, figure out why all of a sudden I get to this one point, and then the brain just shuts off, and it's like, and you hear me, I'm like,
yep.
This is
empty.
Somebody hurry up, say something. But that's the nice thing about doing the show together. I mean, if I was sitting here just doing this by myself, I'd have one of the news sites up, and I would be just talking about different things in the news. I mean, we got plenty of topics today that we can be talking about too. I mean, I already kind of prepared a few things anyway ahead of time, like MYOD, yes.
Make your own.
Keep guessing.
Make your own. Keep guessing. I have no idea.
Make your own what? Or maybe it's BYOD. Which one is it? MYOD is something different. I'm sorry. I got that confused. I goofed you up. BYOD.
BYOD.
Yep. Got any clues?
Build your own desktop?
Rock. That could work
Build your
for
own
that.
database?
No, that could work too. Actually,
Build your own deck?
Out of cedar. No, actually, BYOD stands for Bring Your Own Device.
Okay.
And one of those things, one of the concepts behind it is that the employee brings in their own wireless device for portable apps. So the company doesn't have to pay for one and pay for the service.
Sure.
So
because they're already paying for the service by paying the
paying
worker.
you, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
yeah. Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah. Of course, the so let's cut more and more costs, but make you do more and more, and it just ain't working. We see the economy; it's just not working. But anyway, this is one of the new concepts. But BYOD also is bring your own data, which is really strange too. Two companies had coined that, and I think I really think the majority of the people see BYOD as bring your own device. It's not bring your own data. The select few that believe BYOD means bring your own data or bring your own data center, basically is geared around companies that are looking for Salesforce people, and you're bringing customer contacts.
You bring your contacts.
Yeah.
So are they then? Because I'm just trying to think. I realize that like in the sales staff, you cultivate those relationships between you and your customer base. But who owns that? Is that because you're selling a product to those customers? Does the company own that list, or do you own that list because you've cultivated the contacts?
Right. There's been many of court cases on this, and they've ruled both directions in two separate types of court cases. The question really comes down to is, like you said, is the ownership of it. And if you are a external sales associate, okay, saying you are not paid directly by the company and you don't sign a no competition agreement, you would technically own all your contacts.
Okay.
If you are part of the organization, you become an employee and you are, Peter, I hire you to be Tech Talk salesperson. I want you to get out there and sell, and get me some sponsors. Okay. You build that list. That list should become Tech Talks, property, so that if we have to go back in the future and do it again, we can. So that whole BYOD, where it's bring your own data, I'm not sure how companies can even get away with it, but somehow they're doing some of it that way. And it just seems so low.
Well, I mean, that's always been the case. I'm trying to remember, is it Carnegie? Andrew Carnegie, who basically... I think it's Andrew Carnegie. He brought the stuff that made his fortune, that he invented, quote unquote, here in the U.S. It was already invented in Scotland, and he literally memorized the plans, brought them over here, and reinvented them here in the country and in the United States. And because labor or materials or whatever made him much more competitive here, meant that he became fantastically wealthy and ultimately bought out the company he originally had worked for in Scotland.
Oh, nice.
So I mean, that's there's quite a long history of that, and I suppose it's something we've always done. Salespeople have always done. They always bring those contacts with them, and certainly if you're hiring a professional, while the company owns the work that you do, you own the expertise that you have, and you bring that to your next employer. So,
all right. Well, we got to take a quick break here, about 5 minutes. We'll be right back after these brief messages with Peter, and Flipper on Tech Talk Live. We'll be right back.
No place you can get it at fingerlakes1.com. Come on over to fingerlakes1.com. Make us your homepage. News, weather, sports, and fun. Log on to Finger Lakes One.
www.fingerlakes1.com.
You're listening to Free Music by Dano. Download free MP3s at danosongs.com.
Tech Talk Live. I'm Flipper.
I'm Peter.
And Peter's sitting in here, and we're a technology talk show that was talking about anything this week. We've talked about Star Wars. I almost started in on Star Trek. Sorry about that. And we were just talking about BYOD as being in bring your own data. So why don't we continue on that topic and go BYOD, bring your own device. So the concept really is that you bring your own smartphone, you bring your own tablet or whatever that you might need to do your job. Wow. I just ran upstairs, so I'm kind of like, you can probably hear me on the mic. I'm so sorry. So, bring your own device. So I guess companies now are looking at smartphones as being a personal device, and you bring your own personal device to do your job. So the question comes down to, and I think a lot of things that come down to relating to the question is that by the end of the day, whose data is it? So it comes back to that original question of, well, by the end of the day, you bring your own device, but then whose data is it? Are you going to lose that data? I mean, from a company standpoint, I'm surprised they're not looking at that more.
Yeah, well, I think from a company standpoint, yes, it's the company's data. If you're working on the company dime, it's the company's data.
Right.
How you enforce that? I mean, seriously, how you can seriously enforce that? I don't know.
Right.
Short of demanding that your IT department has full access to everyone's devices at all times, but then you start really running into privacy issues.
Right. Well, what about what if the device gets hacked and all of a sudden company secrets are now let out into the real world and it shouldn't have been?
Right. Well, first of all, you're fired.
Well,
that's just the reality of it.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Exactly. Yeah, it's kind of, I can see the company's perspective on this, but I why you'd want to do it. But there's a lot of downsides. When I worked in a trucking company, we did exactly the same thing. How do you build a nationwide truck fleet? Well, the simplest, you're going to need literally billions of dollars of investment to buy the trucks and to train and drive and the people and whatnot. So what they did was they would simply do a contract. They would contract for the people, and then they would use the people's, their driver's credit to buy their truck. And so the driver in theory owned the route. He in theory he certainly owned his truck. The company would provide you with if your credit was so bad that you couldn't get your own truck, the company had a subsidiary that would help you do that. And granted, if you did not pay your bill, then literally the next day the people came and repoed your vehicle.
Holy cow!
Yes, that's exactly what would happen. So there's you can. Yeah, so you can do stuff like that. The companies can do that, and the question comes down to: at what point is it no longer feasible to enforce something that's that strict, just because it seems on the surface to be a cheaper way? Trucks is one thing. $30,000 truck times 1,000 trucks. That's a lot of money. It makes sense to do what you got to do to have a contractor driver. But a $400 device?
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't seem to be worthwhile. Plus, then you have to ensure that you have the IT infrastructure to handle anyone's device.
Right. I mean, what are you going to force everybody to buy iPads?
Right.
I mean, are you going to force everybody to buy Androids? Well, by the end of the day, does it really work good that way?
Right.
I think one of the big things that I'm thinking of from an IT standpoint is if you got a fleet of Mac iOS books, the MacBooks or even the Mac, the iPad, maybe the iPad 2, and you have business software on it, plus you have your email, plus you have file access, plus you have a VPN scenario. The question comes down to is you just increased your IT infrastructure and your IT support costs because you're going to have people that know about those devices and know how to manage the infrastructure of those devices. And then it brings up a whole new issue of what happens if there's some reason or something that needs to be done with these devices, saying, ex-employee all of a sudden gets infected with a virus, and that gets pushed out to everybody else in the fleet. Mm-hmm. Like that 600,000 Mac computers were infected recently with the biggest botnet ever, because most Mac users are social engineered and thinking, it's Mac, I'm safe.
Right.
So it was the perfect hiding place for something huge, and it did. They hid something extremely huge in the Mac world, and I feel sorry for them. I really do. But at the same time, what if that were to happen with your company? I'm trying to put myself in the company's shoes. You got an aerospace company that all of a sudden has maybe a big military contract, and the CEO all of a sudden gets an email from somebody on his or hers MacBook, or I keep saying MacBook, iPad, and then all of a sudden it gets shipped out, all these plans for this new aerodynamic wing that they're going to build so that you can fly actually to space. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden that gets pushed out to a bunch of competitors and stuff, and they start building. You're losing money. You're losing profits, all due to a IT infrastructure security problem that is not necessarily solvable by technology.
Right.
It's an inherent open door policy. I don't know. It just kind of scares me from an IT standpoint.
Right. And I think the other side of it is too, if you are requiring your employees to have their own equipment to do their job, it's it's going to almost certainly mix into with their private their private emails, their private stuff they use with their device, and that's a productivity issue right there.
Right.
I mean, it's, if I'm your employer and I give you a cell phone, I can pretty much reasonably expect you to only use that cell phone for work business. Mm-hmm. If I'm reimbursing you for your cell phone usage, or I'm simply requiring you to use your own cell phone, every time I see you on that cell phone, I'm going to have to assume that you're doing work stuff, but you may not be. Mm-hmm. How am I going to track that? And who should be tracking that? Should it be IT? Should it be the project manager or whoever? So I think I think it's one of those neat ideas that we're going to try, because right now it's a employer's market, so we can do stupid things like saying, well, we're only going to interview people who have iPhones, or iPads. So
which is weird.
So put on your resume, make sure you put your device, so we can kick out all those Apple people.
I got a device from JoJo Willis's Party Gals. If anybody wants to interview me,
So, like I said, I suspect that will probably change as soon as the economy really starts to recover, and it's no longer an employer's market. But it's really no different than employers doing things like saying, we're not going to allow anyone who smokes to work with us, even if you don't smoke on our property. And if you're a private business, you can do that. You can,
to a certain degree,
you can be draconian about it, but it only works if people are desperate enough for the jobs that they are willing to live under that sort of oppression. The minute that changes, then your people leave.
Right.
So, and that's just that's the nature of the beast. Nature of the beast.
Wow,
it's a neat idea. I think this bring your own device, and I think there's some sense to it, in the idea of if we can accommodate as a company or an organization, accommodate any device, then that means when we are working with partners and clients and customers, you have a lot more flexibility.
Right.
But taking it too far, of course, is always a problem.
Well, I have the same problem with my day job, and I don't necessarily carry a smart device, but I got tired of carrying two cell phones.
Sure.
Okay. The big problem with me is that, you got to carry two cell phones around. I mean, it becomes a pain in the butt trying to figure out which one's on, which one's not. Is it a personal call that just came in or not?
Right.
But I switched all my telecommunications over to my only method of contact really is my cell phone. I mean, right. I don't have a home phone. I don't have an IP phone. I do have a couple Google Voice accounts, of course, for here I've got Google Voice for Tech Talk. So if somebody wants to give us a call and get on our conversation here, you want to talk or ask questions, give us a call, 315-220-0692, or give us an email at techtalkliveny@gmail.com. And, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I really don't care. You want to talk about Star Wars again? Bring it on. But, the big thing with me was I got tired of having so many different... The leash got too tight is what it did.
Right.
It was like, oh, my dear God, I cannot eat, sleep, or poo without having a phone on me.
Right.
At least now, okay, I got my one cell phone. It only rings in one direction. I'm even thinking about possibly setting up a Google Voice for all my different phones and giving that number out to everybody and saying, here, if you need to get a hold of me, this is the number to call. This is my office number, my home number, my everything number. And it will ring, and according to Google Voice, I love the product, it can ring multiple phones at the same time to find you. So it can ring your office number, your cell phone number, your home number, maybe even another business number. I think you can put in up to 10 devices you can actually ring or try to get notified on. Very neat product, and it's free. Mm-hmm. So, and then the other thing it can do is it can screen calls for you. So like when you call into Tech Talk, I don't have the screening turned on, but if I did have the screening turned on, it would give you a message like, hi, you've reached Tech Talk Live. If you'd like to be on the air, please press 1 right now and say your name. So you press 1, say your name, and then it puts you on, it basically calls you into my computer here, and then I can get you on live on the air. That's kind of a neat function, but the problem is that I can't put them automatically on hold, just have them come up on an icon so that they're sitting on hold, so then I can just pick them.
Right.
Not like we're getting a lot of calls right now either, but
right.
It would be a neat function just to have it put it on hold so that I can just tell when I got to pick it up. Okay, hey, we got time to take a caller. Boom. Hey, you're on Tech Talk live on the air, and away you go. Right now, I wish somebody would call that way I could show you the setup. It's kind of neat. Basically, it comes up on my screen and goes ding, 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 ding. You got a call, okay. And then you hit the answer and you pump up the mic and you basically answer and away you go. So back to the bring your own device thought process. I mean, I could understand cell phones only because of everybody's making it more and more difficult to manage how much information is coming at one person at one time.
Right.
For me to pay $500, $600 for a device to have so I can go get a job with whatever company, I think it's starting to cross that line of what.
Well, let's just flip this around from the other perspective. So let's say.
Oh no, we're not going to start that.
Line crossing. Let's just turn this around. Well, let's say that as a company you've hired me to do a job. And I want to bring my own device and my own software because I know that this is the best solution for me and for what I do, even though it is not a solution that your IT department has any real experience with. So, for example, let's say you're, as a company, you only use Macs, but I have a PC and I've never used a Mac. And, I have my Macintosh database and I have all these software programs that I'm very well used to. But your IT department doesn't have the expertise. Is it ideal for the company to let me use that, bring my own device to the table, or?
Well, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, I suppose it really also depends on what the structure of the IT infrastructure is. Mm-hmm. Like a good example, my day job. I mean, I can't honestly say that we have a good infrastructure to support a full Mac VPN file structure that will function as clean and as good as what we got now in the PC world. So, I could see that being an issue, a factor in this whole conversation. The question still comes down to is defining what this BYOD is going to really be. Is it all based on, oh, look, Snide must have tried calling in and he didn't get through. I just got an email, new voicemail from Snide. Let's see what he says here. So I'm calling and I'm wondering if you're home. Hello and good day. That's great. Well, I'm surprised that it didn't come through. Technology, ain't it wonderful? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Give us a call, 315-220-0692. I must not have either heard it or I didn't see it. Something, I don't know. You know, it's kind of weird, you know, the Google Voice thing, too, is it works and it doesn't work. I mean, some days it's like working great. The other days, not so much. I mean, we got 5 calls one day off of this one thing. I really think I got to get into the VoIP calling scenario. That sounds like it'd be a good idea, too, but... But yeah, back to bring your own device. I think one of the big things too is finding the happy medium. I mean, if I really had a user that was having an issue with, you know, I really like my iPad. It does everything I need it to do. Well, if your job warrants it, there's the other problem too, is people try to make the job warrant it when the job doesn't warrant it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like, let's take a great example here. Police officer, okay? Police officer doesn't need to have an iPad sitting in the car with him, considering that most police officers already have some type of terminal hookup that gives them remote data back to the main primary 911 center or data center or wherever it is, right?
Right.
So the question then comes down to is who makes that final determination of whether it's warranted or not? Is it going to be a CEO or a supervising manager or something that makes that determination? And then when they do make that determination, how well do they make that determination?
Right.
You know, I mean, do they have enough on the ball about this topic to make a determination or not?
Right.
You know, I don't know. I mean,
I think it's a hard issue, and I think it's and then you know the answers change with the organization. So obviously, public organizations have different rules for making a decision as what's appropriate and what isn't than a private business. You know, and then there's the reality of if we do make this rule, how will that affect our people? How will that affect our customers? How will that affect our ability to keep good people or get good people, or, you know, in some cases, keep the riffraff from coming in.
Now, hang on a second. I thought this was all about them being cheapskates, you know?
Well, I mean, that's part of it, you know, but
that's no offense to anybody. I was just playing, okay? I just find this whole concept kind of weird and separating of the employee and the company, really.
Well, I think it's kind of interesting. I remember about so like 7 or 8 years ago, I worked for RIT, and I was just a staff assistant on a grant-funded project, and the grant was coming up. It was going to end, and so our money was going to run out. So I knew this was I had a year or so. So I started applying for jobs around RIT, so I could stay in the organization. But at that same time is when RIT and a lot of the universities started going to an automated human resource management solution. So instead of sending your resume and a letter of intent of inquiry to HR, you had to spend 4 to 5 hours on an online form, taking all your information from your resume and sticking it into their form as fast as you possibly could, because it would time out. And then so I went and asked the human resources people what gives, and they said, well, part of it is to weed out the applications, because we are getting, for every job, we get 200 or 300 people who are interested, and this weeds that down to maybe 100.
Just because it times out quickly.
Because it times out quickly and people give up.
Wow.
You know, and it says that, and that's the reality. The reality is that people, when they write
I don't like
resume,
your reality, Peter.
And they simply email it to every university they can find, and they hope for the best. And so, so I think that may be part of it too. Is you want to, especially when you have such a large number of people unemployed and looking for jobs, and only so many jobs available, employers are trying to, trim the pool of people coming in to get to weed out some of the applicants, so they don't have to try to figure out who is the best person out of these 300 people who've applied.
Right.
And if your device is one of the criteria, then
you're in.
Then yeah, exactly.
Holy cow, that's so weird to think about.
That's the way the grant world works too. I mean, it's a constant battle between the people who are applying for grants and the people who are trying to read all the applications.
I think it's just like anything right now. I really, if you really think about it, the rough reality about anything right now. I mean, look at the show. Look at I got another show that I might be producing here pretty soon. There's definitely how do you get above the noise? How do you get above the low water mark?
Right.
I know a friend of mine used to tell me that you gotta pump it up yourself. It's all you, baby. It's all you. And I agree to a certain degree that it's all you. You got to be, promoting yourself. But at the same time, there's this weird level of white noise. And it almost sounds like you're winning the lotto in order to get above that sometimes.
In some cases, yeah, I think that's true.
And so difficult to find the winning formula. And I think the same thing would apply with this bring your own device and employers. And, so I'm an Android freak and you're an iPad freak and you get the job, I don't, and then of course we start coming back to that whole old argument that we always argue about at lunch is what's fair.
That's right.
The five things of fairness.
Eight things of fairness.
Oh, whatever. I don't care. I think I only remember 5, but not 1, not 2, not even 3. We're talking 8.
8 different ways to make it something fair.
So it's so funny. It's so weird, and then, couple that with the cloud storage idea. Now we have some major business problems, and I'm surprised these business people are not more leery of it. I mean, think about it. iCloud storage. All of a sudden, now this person has got all your company data and your company contacts on their device out in the cloud. Mm-hmm. What happens if that cloud gets hacked? What happens? Okay, here's a better one. What if it goes out of business? Okay, and it goes bye-bye, like iPic did. Mm-hmm. It was cloud storage for photographers. All those photographers, if they weren't smart enough, which quite a few weren't, did not make a secondary backup locally.
Right.
And all of a sudden, poof, they lost all these wonderful pictures of like weddings that they did, customer photos, the whole 9. And there was no recourse.
Nope.
Nothing.
Nope.
So what is this company going to do now if all of a sudden, I go to work for you and I bring my own device and I have an iCloud storage and I now store all your business plans or all your, maybe we're doing some big major project where we're trying to engineer some new car. And I happen to have the prototype sitting out on my iCloud so I can show business partners and stuff. Uh-oh. I wish I could do it the right way. It's I can't even do it. My voice is too bad right this second.
Well, I mean, it's all about it's all about the risk, isn't it? I mean, so if you if you have a fake company who has not fake company, if you have a company who has who requires all their people to bring their own devices and you store everything on the cloud, that is a much lower cost business model. You have a much higher chance for profit. However, you have a lot of risk. You have the fact that your people may not be productive. Your people may take your information and give it somewhere else, and you may lose the cloud.
Holy cow! We got a call right at the last second, and okay. Let's give it a shot here. You're on Tech Talk Live. You're talking live on air. First name?
JJ calling.
Hey man, how you doing? We're just about to close the show, man.
I just wanted to say a quick hello to everybody out there and
hello,
all our listeners.
Did you see your stand-in over here?
Briefly.
Yeah, right here, this guy. So, you looked a little pale today.
Okay, very good.
Well,
just want to say hi before you logged off, and it was a good show.
All right, I will put your name in the hat for the thumb drive.
Good job, guys.
All right, thanks JJ.
So, enjoy the rest of our afternoon. So.
All right, thank you. You too. You're at work, aren't you?
No.
Oh, you're not. Oh, you're on your anniversary.
Yeah.
There's Snide now. Okay, JJ.
All right. Talk
See you later. Bye-bye.
See you, JJ.
Bye.
You're on Tech Talk Live. Hi, Snide. How you doing? We're just about to close the show. Make it quick.
Yeah, well, I tried 3 times to call you, and it didn't ring in.
I know. That was weird. It logged me off in the middle of everything. I don't know what happened.
All right, so I called back in. I'm calling from Pigeon Forge.
All right, man. So
I passed out a lot of your cards.
All right, cool. Hopefully we're going to get more listeners, and hopefully we can get this phone thing fixed.
All right, TV, I see what you're talking about, looking up the nose.
Yes. Yes, I already picked it once, but thank God I had the camera switched.
Oh. All right, we'll take care of that when I get back.
All right, thanks, Snide.
All right, talk to you later. See you next week on the show.
All right, Tech Talk Live, right, baby?
All right, all the way.
All right, see you later, Snide.
Bye.
Bye. All right, that's pretty much it. That's our show, but, I wanted you to finish your thought. You forgot your thought.
I forgot my thought.
That's all good.
That's all good.
We do that. We do that a lot. So, anyway, you've been listening to Tech Talk Live, and I'm Flipper. And that's Peter, my good friend over there. And we're a technology talk show. We're on every Saturday morning, 11 to 12 Eastern Time. Make sure to tune in every week. We're out of here. See ya.
You've been listening to your technology talk show. Tune in next time to Tech Talk Live.